Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here today with Andy Su, the co-founder and CEO of Pry. Andy, how are you?
Great. Glad to be here.
Maybe let's just start. We're going to talk about some content help that you need, but maybe first just tell us about Pry. I mean, is it actually, and first, is it Pry or Pry Financials? How do you prefer?
We just like to call it Pry.
Okay, cool. Could you tell us a little bit about the company, why you started it, what the product does?
Yeah. So Pry, our tagline is finance for founders. And with the product itself, it's a new tool that combines bookkeeping and the financial plan in one app so that founders can actually go in and actually run their business off of it, not just file taxes and do all the boring stuff. So we're launched. We're a new startup. We were part of the recent YC batch, and we've got over 100 customers using us already. We're very early on the content side. If you check out our site, we've got an interactive website, but no blog. Our docs are like very bare, and we're at a point where it's like, yeah, we need to get some help on this. So that's why we came to you.
Cool. Cool. That's awesome. And full disclosure, I'm a customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been very happy with Pry. I mean, it's really cool, especially for me, like getting started about a year ago, the ability to build out a couple different forecasts, sort of a high growth one, kind of like a pretty real, my kind of more realistic expectations, and then like the bad scenario. And then sort of track those against the actual revenue we earned during that time was pretty interesting, and then also helped us budget for the expenses and that kind of thing. So anyways, it's a great tool. um, I'm certainly not technical, and I'm able to use it and get a lot of value from it, so I think that's cool. um, when you think about content at Pry, like what's the most pressing need right now? Like, are you looking for, like, there's a few different things I might imagine, like you're looking for SEO content to start driving more traffic, or are you looking for more of like a thought leadership approach to kind of um, capture some of the company's philosophy and background story, or something else?
Well, you nailed it, both of them. I think to start, just SEO help. We just need more page views, and we want to see if our website is converting, and if more traffic just generates us more trial users. And then also, I think there's a lot of very key things that people are searching for on the internet, and they're trying to understand and better get help on that they can't find. Things like what's my MRR? How do I calculate my CAC, my cost of acquisition? There are some very bare bones articles on those topics, and I think we can do a better job than what's already out there. So just on the SEO side is there's a bunch of terms that I think we should be hitting. Um, and there's a lot of good companies that are already playing those areas that we can draw inspiration from, like QuickBooks, Xero, or Pilot, or many of these other companies. Um, and on the thought leadership side, I think it's just a harder role to find because we're looking for a sort of finance guru that is familiar with Excel, is familiar with corporate finance and building financial plans, um, who also wants to write. So there's definitely a few of them, but it's just a much harder type of person to find. But I think uh, that's like we have huge value there because the way we've built Pry is to be very opinionated about how you do financial forecasting. A lot of other companies, like if you just use Excel, there's so many different ways of doing your financial forecasting. There's an endless number of things to write, and there's debates about which way you do it is better or worse. Whereas on Pry, there's really just one way, and we've decided that's the easiest way for non-finance folks to pick up, and we're constantly iterating and making it the, incorporate the philosophies that we believe in, and that's something that we would love to get a thought leader to kind of write about, and we will want that person to understand finance as well, so they know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah. How much background or subject matter expertise does this person have in order to be able to do this job well?
um, I would say that they need to write a few of these, or so one of our I was looking up like the Flightpath founder Jacko wrote this really long article. Like he's great. They're the founder of Foresight.is Taylor. Like I look at the stuff he writes and he builds out. Like those things are great. Obviously that level, like awesome. But even folks that have maybe built their own financial plans and put it online and say, hey, this is how I manage my business and I like it for these reasons. If you've written an article or two around that and gotten some discussion, that's probably like good enough. So yeah, we'd like to be we'd like the person to actually know whether who have actually practiced the finance aspect of it to write that sort of stuff. And I'm able to help out, of course, because I've done this for like almost a decade now. But I need like that other person, the content writer, to also form their own opinions and their own judgments about how we do things on Pry. I want them to kind of challenge what we've built. I think that would make a better, more authentic article.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just to be clear, the initial engagement is for a freelance or maybe a part-time role with the potential to evolve into a full-time role over time. Is that right?
Absolutely. So at our price point, our entire like long-term strategy is to get content and inbound marketing to work. So we're definitely going to have a role for content marketing is always going to be a big role for us at Pry. It's just right now we're very early in our stages, so we're trying to find a part-time person to get a few articles out and see if we have like good rapport and if they like our team and things like that.
Got it. Makes sense. And then will this person report to and work directly with you, or is there somebody else on the team that they would work more closely with?
Yeah, so they would be working directly with me on content ideation and all of those aspects. But we are a 8-person team. We have an amazing designer, Alex, who's our co-founder. He'll be able to build some, actually just create some illustrations or graphics. And then we also have Tiffany and Wilson on sales and customer service, who can help get case studies and work with this person to kind of like tell you more directly what our customers want. So it'll be this person will be reporting to me, but we've got other members on the team that they can talk to and get ideas from.
Yeah, cool. I think this is awesome. I mean, it's not for everybody, but to come in very early stage of a startup, to build the content strategy and start the content creation almost from scratch. I think you guys have done a little bit, but like to really get it going, to have your own fingerprints on that work is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different than coming into like at one point I took over the blog at QuickBooks. Like there's just not a lot of like canvas to paint on anymore. Whereas like in a situation like this, you have flexibility to try things, the ability to influence the direction it goes. And so I think that's really exciting. I think some of our folks will agree with me on that too.
Thanks. That's really good to hear. And our product, like we're a very like product-led company. We've been building product for over a year now. As you've seen, we've launched a lot of features. So there's a lot to just write about what we've already launched. That's just waiting there. And that's why I'm really eager to get started with you, Jimmy, and see if we can find a great candidate from Superpath.
I love it. So for folks who are interested, there's an apply button to the side and below this post. It'll take you to a form that'll collect basic information about your name, email. It will also ask for writing samples. We actually have a blog post on the site for folks applying for content roles about how to select your writing sample. So I would recommend checking that out. And if you'd like any feedback on your writing samples before you apply, always feel free to DM me in Slack. I'm always happy to give folks some feedback on their resume, writing samples, whatever, before they actually apply for a role. And if nothing else, I will cheer you on and encourage you along the way. Andy, really appreciate it. It's a huge value to our community when folks like you come on and talk face-to-face about the roles and provide more context and get us excited about them. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. Thanks.
Cool. We'll talk soon.